Hello, Professor and class. My name is Vanessa Martinez, and for today's presentation, I will be talking about why we need stricter gun control laws. My proposition resolved is that the U.S. should strive for stricter gun control laws for the safety of everyone, and my statement is a policy. My first argument is that stricter gun control laws would reduce the number of deaths gun-related. Now, according to the Supreme Court debates in the article titled Pros and Cons of Gun Violence Research, Gun Safety versus Second Amendment Rights, it is stated that, quote, the CDC estimates that nearly 40,000 Americans died of gun-related injuries in 2017, based on the most recent data available, end quote. When the U.S. gun violence rates were compared with that of other wealthy country rates, the U.S. came out to have surpassed them. The U.S. had one of the highest rates. There are studies that show that if states were to impose tougher gun control laws and require a mental illness checkup, it'll lower all gun death rates and significantly lower gun-related suicides. Here's a figure showing the effects of strict gun control laws and how they reduce all gun deaths, and then individually suicides and non-suicides. In the article explaining gun deaths, gun control, mental illness, and policy making in the American states, evidence is presented of the impact of stricter gun control laws. I present my second argument which is that stricter gun control laws would protect women. According to Sheehan, in the news titled Having Handguns in the Home Leads to Increased Deaths, a researcher for Firearm Injury Center, Douglas Weeb, stated that the men and women are both at risk of homicide when they own a gun, but the risk was a lot higher when it came to women. It's been proven that when states were to require a background check, it reduces domestic violence involving a gun by 47%. Also proven that states that prohibit domestic abusers from purchasing a gun have notably reduced their partner homicide rates. My last presented argument is that guns are not used as often for self-defense as many gun right advocates claim. According to Hemingway, in an article titled Survey Research and Self-Defense Gun Use, an explanation of extreme overestimates, it is emphasized that, quote, until the KG study, no one had estimated that even as many as 1% of adult civilians had used a gun in self-defense in the past year. As I said previously, gun rights advocates often use the reason they need guns is for self-defense, but the number of guns that were actually used in self-defense was estimated to about 65,000 times a year. For my concluding remarks, I state that safety should always be a #1 concern when we think of how things like guns can affect it. Although guns do provide protection for some severe situations or cases, it is important to remember that there is still a very high maluse of it. My three main arguments for the support of gun control is to not only express and show how guns negatively impact the community, but to explain the steps to take to further reduce gun-related violence. By being able to provide more access to mental health and requiring screening for a gun purchase, combined, shows promise to reducing death rates overall. Here is my list of references. Thank you for your time.